Syria's Ashara emphasizes long-term relations with Lebanon. Lebanese President Joseph Aoun emphasizes his commitment to building a just state founded on equality for all its components. And the White House announces President Joe Biden reiterates the importance of continued Western support for Kiev. It's 8 p.m. Cairo local time, and you're now watching Qnews. We begin today's bulletin with the latest developments in Syria. Lebanese caretaker Prime Minister Najib Mikati has met with Syria's military operations chief Ahmed Shara in Damascus. According to Lebanese media, Mikati left Beirut earlier in the day for a one-day visit at Al-Shara's invitation. The Lebanese delegation include Foreign Minister Abdullah Bouhabib, Acting General Security Director General Ilyas Al-Baysari, Army Intelligence Chief Brigadier General Tony Qahwagi, and Deputy General Security Director Brigadier General Hassan Shaqir. Lebanese caretaker Prime Minister Najib Mikati has stressed the need for controlling Syria's border to prevent smuggling. During a press conference with Syria's military operations chief Ahmed Shara, Mikati emphasized activating bilateral relations based on respecting sovereignty. Both leaders discussed the border's situation, highlighting the importance of ensuring the security of both Lebanon and Syria, underscoring the need for cooperation to maintain regional stability and prevent further illegal activities. Syria's military operations chief Ahmed Shara has emphasized prioritizing internal stability and enhancing security within Syria. That came during a press conference with Lebanese caretaker Prime Minister Najib Mikati during his visit to Damascus. Shara stated that strategic long-term relations between Syria and Lebanon are in focus, with the border issue among the top priorities for upcoming discussions. The meeting highlighted mutual efforts to strengthen ties and address critical regional matters for enhanced cooperation between neighboring countries. US, French and German envoys have warned Syria's new leadership against appointing foreigners to senior military positions, citing security concerns and potential harm to their image while seeking foreign relations. US envoy Daniel Rubinstein raised the issue with the Syria's military operations chief Ahmed Shara in Damascus. French and German foreign ministers also addressed foreign recruits in the military during talks. Syrian media reports that Israeli forces have advanced into the western area of Al-Malqa village in the Qnews province in southern Syria using military vehicles and bulldozers. Additionally, road workers reported in the border area suggested that the construction of a large Israeli military base near the Deryat checkpoint. Iraq's Deputy Commander of Joint Operations, Lieutenant General Qais al-Mohammadi, has confirmed that the Iraqi-Syrian border is fully secured. Al-Mohammadi highlighted ongoing intelligence operations that have prevented Daesh infiltration and strengthened Iraq's overall security. Syria's military operations chief Ahmed al-Shara has received an envoy of Oman's Sultan Sheikh Abdulaziz bin Abdullah bin Zahir al-Hinai in Damascus. Arab and Western officials have been visiting the Syrian capital to meet with the new administration. Most of the meetings have called for unity in Syria and a government that includes all categories and sects of Syrian society. And for more analysis, we now move to Salma Marwan in our newsroom. To you, Salma.
Thank you, Mona. And for further analysis on the current situation in Syria, we're joined from Beirut by strategic political analyst Abdullah Nama. Mr. Abdullah, thank you so much for joining us on Qnews. And first off, during a press conference between Naguib Mikati and Ahmed al-Shara, Mikati stressed the need to control Syria's border to prevent smuggling. How do Mikati and al-Shara plan to address these border issues?
We see today the visit of Naguib Mikati to Syria, and especially following the election of President Joseph Aoun and the developments in Syria and the changes that took place regarding the fall of the previous Syrian regime. Lebanon and Syria today are seeing new presidents, Joseph Aoun and the leader Ahmed al-Shara. There were agreements between the previous regime in Lebanon who was following Iran and also the previous Syrian regime. Now this regime is gone, so new agreements are emerging between the new administration of President Aoun, with the different paths that he wants to take. We know the politics in Lebanon was before following Iran. Now Lebanon is following the Arab world policies again. So the agreements will change between Lebanon and Syria because the previous ones were only serving the Syrian interests more than Lebanon due to the Syrian Syrian-Iranian occupation of the Lebanese South. And now we see the visit of Prime Minister Mikati to Syria as a proof of the new Syria and new Lebanon will witness new respectful relations. The sovereignty of both countries will be respected. Strong ties will be in place between the Syrian and Lebanese administration. We know that the populations of Syria and Lebanon are highly tied and are tied by historical relations. So we see the visit of Prime Minister Mikati as a responsibility to organize and coordinate the borders between Syria and Lebanon.
Okay, so from a Syrian perspective, what steps did Ahmed al-Shara emphasize to ensure Syrian security and stability?
al-Shara stressed the sovereignty of Lebanon and Syria. At the meantime, al-Shara also spoke about the borders between the two countries and coordinating the security of Lebanon, Syria exit. Also coordinating the military leadership. We saw the director of the Lebanese intelligence and also the internal security director of Lebanon visiting Syria to coordinate all the security matters. and most importantly, the refugee issue. There are about 2 million Syrian population in Lebanon. They need arrangement to bring them back to Syria. And we also have Syrian prisoners that shall be transferred to the Syrian prisons. All these matters were discussed during today's visit between Shara and Mikati, who reiterated the matter of Lebanese prisoners held in Syrian prisons who are missing till today.
So, Sarah, we've witnessed a lot of Western and Arab envoys head to Damascus in the recent period. How does their presence reflect international perceptions of Syria's new administration?
Of course, Syria today is open to cooperate with the Arab world and the entire world on the international arena. Turkey today is embracing the Shara administration and providing a cover for him, and I think Shara exerted a lot of efforts to reach where he is now in Syria, and now it is not just up to Syria, to the international community, and the Arab community now is also working on restoring the Syrian stability. Humanitarian aid are being sent to Syria. We have seen the coordinations between Syria and the UAE and Saudi Arabia, and we saw the US delegation to Syria. We consider Syria out of the Iranian policy and back to follow the Arab joint policies again. Lebanon and Syria witnessed a diversity in sects, and there are historical ties connecting the two countries, playing an integral role in the Middle East. And now this openness by Syria and by the world to cooperate together, especially after what happened in Syria, because Syria was almost destroyed, especially after the fall of the previous regime. Now Syria is going back to follow the Arab joint policies, not the Turkish or the Iranian policies. Of course, we have good relations with Turkey as Lebanese and Syrians, but
now, sir, sorry for interrupting you here, but I would like to integrate Iraq into our conversation. How could Iraq's full securing of its border with Syria influence Syria's efforts to stabilize its borders with Lebanon and other neighbors?
بالطبع سوريا اليوم working with different factions, and the HTS is now bringing forces to work to form an army, a united Syrian army, combining all factions to have the right legitimacy and control the cross borders with Jordan, Iraq, Lebanon, and so on. And we have seen this discussion taking place during the Mikati visit to Syria to reinforce the security of both Lebanon and Syria and all the other neighboring countries. They are working to gather all the Syrian forces together and hold a reconciliation with the 80% of the military forces to bring a settlement on the table to form a new Syrian army So I think they are working in the right direction. The international community is now participating in these discussions. Ahmed Shara is taking the right direction, and they are going forward with the right solution to make the right arrangement to protect the Syrian territories, especially after we've seen the discussions and talks between Qassam forces and Ahmad al-Shara regarding not dividing the Syrian lands. The region is witnessing demographic changes that is being considered by President
Sorry
Trump.
for interrupting you, sir, due to shortage of time. That was strategic political analyst Abdullah Nama. Thank you so much for your insights. And now we're going to move back to Mona in the studio.
And thank you so much, Salma, for the analysis. And now we move on to the latest developments in Lebanon.
كل المستهدفين هن مدنيين.
الوضع شيء مرعب، شيء بخوف.
Lebanese President Joseph Aoun has emphasized his commitment to building a just state founding on equality for all its components. During a meeting with Grand Mufti Sheikh Abdul Latif Deryan, Aoun called for collective responsibility in this endeavor, highlighting Lebanon's opportunities and global interests. He urged swift government formation to restore external trust, stressing unity among the Lebanese and rejecting reliance on external powers for internal dominance. Lebanese President Joseph Aoun has stated that Lebanon is steadily progressing towards achieving security and stability in the south. During his meeting with Italian Deputy Prime Minister and Foreign Minister Antonio Tajani at Ba'abda Palace, Aoun emphasized that with the election of a president and the formation of a government, Lebanon would focus on rebuilding and advancing forward to a better future. Tajani affirmed Italy's strong support for Lebanon, highlighting the ceasefire with Israel as a step forward lasting peace. The Lebanese presidency has announced that President Joseph Aoun is set to visit Saudi Arabia soon. The visit, at the invitation of Saudi Arabia Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman, marks Aoun's first official international trip. However, the statement did not specify an exact date for the visit. Lebanese media reports that the army has begun removing Israeli-erected barriers to regain access to villages near the border, including Quzah and Aita al-Shab. Security sources confirmed plans to expand deployment to Al-Dahira after securing Naqoura and Alama al-Shab earlier this week. U.S. envoy Amos Hochstein has assured Lebanese officials that Israel will complete its withdrawal from southern Lebanon by January 26th. Israeli media report that Hochstein received a detailed timeline from Israeli officials confirming that the deadline will be met.
And back into Israel proper today, south of the blue line.
And now we move on to the latest developments in Gaza. Israeli media have reported that Israel and Hamas have reached an initial agreement on the second phase of a Gaza ceasefire, alongside the implementation of the first phase. Discussions also addressed the possibility of a permanent ceasefire to ensure continuity. Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu held an emergency meeting with Defense Minister Israel Katz and the negotiating team after Hamas sent a positive message. Reports suggest optimism regarding a potential detainee exchange deals. Gaza-based health authorities have confirmed that the Palestinian death toll from the ongoing Israeli aggression on Gaza Strip has surged to over 46,000, with more than 109,571 others wounded. They added that the Israeli occupation forces committed 5 massacres against families in the Gaza Strip over the past 48 hours, resulting in the killing of at least 38 Palestinians and the injury of 193 others. Israeli occupation forces have tightened their military measures at the Taysir checkpoint, located east of Tubas in the West Bank and around the city of Nablus in the northern West Bank. Local sources reported that Israeli forces obstructed the movement of Palestinian vehicles passing through the checkpoints, creating a traffic jam that extended for hundreds of meters. The Taysir checkpoint, which connects the cities of the northern West Bank with the Jordan Valley and is a key access point to the area, has witnessed increasing restrictions and vehicle searches in recent months. And now we move on to the latest developments of the Russo-Ukrainian conflict. The White House has announced that President Joe Biden spoke with Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky, reiterating the importance of continued Western support for Kyiv. Biden highlighted Ukraine's resilience and U.S. backing as factors in thwarting Russia's strategic goals. He expressed optimism about Ukraine's victory and emphasized the significant impact of new sanctions on Russia's economy. Biden also said that the new sanctions imposed on Russian oil could raise gas prices by 3 or 4 cents per gallon, but would have a profound effect on Russia's economy.
Koreans they brought in as having high mortality rates as well, and I made it clear that
German media has reported that Chancellor Olaf Scholz blocked a 3 billion euros aid package proposal to provide Ukraine with additional weapons. The plan devised by foreign and defense ministers, including the RST air defense systems, howitzers and artillery ammunition. The proposal aimed to address Ukraine's worsening military situation and sends a strong signal of German support amid uncertainty over US aid after Donald Trump's election victory. Russia's defense ministry has announced that its forces have captured a village in Donetsk in eastern Ukraine. The ministry credited the success to decisive actions by the Central Forces. Moscow vows to continue its military operations until its goals are achieved, while Ukraine demands a full withdrawal of Russian troops amid escalating tensions and worsening security and humanitarian conditions. That brings us to the end of our news bulletin. Here is what we've been covering. Syria's Ashara emphasizes long-term relations with Lebanon. Lebanese President Joseph Aoun emphasizes his commitment to building a just state founded on equality for all its components. And the White House announces President Joe Biden reiterates the importance of continued Western support for Kiev. This concludes our news bulletin for the hour. Don't forget to follow Qnews on YouTube, Facebook, X, Instagram, and TikTok at Qnews EGY to stay informed. Many thanks for watching and stay tuned for more updates on Qnews.